There are some people who think that if you watch adult films that you are green, you're a newbie, you're inexperienced. And in my case, I have watched lesbian adult films, and my scenario is quite different from the average person who identifies as heterosexual. And the reason being is because as a lesbian, I grew up in an environment where homosexuality was not accepted, it was frowned upon. And I wasn't given the space or the freedom to be myself. And as I grew up in an environment that was dominated by heterosexual people, it caused me to feel very isolated and lonely, and in many cases, very uncomfortable because I was not allowed to be myself. I learned at a very young age, before the age of 10 years old, that I was a lesbian. I did not know the word lesbian at the time because I was a child. However, I was very aware that I was attracted to women. And knowing who you are at a very young age, yet not being allowed to be yourself, is extremely challenging and it's very limiting. Heterosexual people have the freedom and the ability to be themselves without even thinking about it. Imagine being a person where you have to think about all the time what to say, how to act, and who you should be with in a romantic relationship. You have to think about it because you know that your family doesn't accept it, the people at church don't accept it, the people in the work environment don't accept it, whoever is in your direct social setting doesn't accept it. Most people identify as heterosexual. So if you are a lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, queer, or trans person who is same sex attracted, then you can relate to the concept that you have to pretty much learn who you are when you have the opportunity to do so, because you're going to be taught, you're going to be raised as a heterosexual, but you know deep inside that you are not heterosexual. And that was my experience. I knew who I was early on. And I have personal experience with being involved with women in romantic and sexual relationships. However, I wanted to learn vicariously what women who love women do sexually. And I was able to do that through the outlet of lesbian adult films. And it wasn't because I was timid, it wasn't because I was insecure, nor does it mean that I was promiscuous or I was being rebellious, or as people who consider themselves very religious and heterosexual, they say that you're being a sinner or that you're lost or confused. The list goes on and on. However, none of those apply to me. And if you're watching this video and you are a lesbian or gay or same sex attracted person, that doesn't apply to you either. Don't listen to those voices. You know who you are. And, the thing about life is a school. And you have the freedom to decide how you're going to learn about the school of life. And I am a student. I am a learner. I'm big on education. I've went to school for many years because I just enjoy learning. I have I'm a certified life coach. I'm also an author. I have a associate of arts degree in public relations. I have a bachelor of science degree in journalism, and I have a master of science degree in the studies of human behavior. And I just love to learn. And that's just been a part of me. When I was in school, I hated to fail. I did not like to make anything below a B. If I made a grade below a B, you can believe my day was just not going to be good. But eventually I learned that you have to fail sometimes too, because you learn from failure. And I'm saying all that to say is one of the ways that I learned about myself in the school of life is I wanted to know who I was as a lesbian person. Being a lesbian is who I am. It is my identity. And because I wasn't taught to be a lesbian, it's innate. It's natural for me. However, I was all alone. There was no one around me who was lesbian. And if they were, they surely didn't tell me. So that lets you know all by itself how being gay is not the thing to be, because nobody wanted to admit that they were gay. I'm talking about like in the 90s or whatnot. Nobody talked about, hey, I'm gay. I mean, of course, there was always people who you knew were gay or lesbian, but and let me tell you something, being openly gay and lesbian, even today, in today's time, that takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of strength, and it's not anything that you want to take lightly. When you're interacting with a person who knows who they are, who's confident in who they are, and they're happy to be themselves, that's a beautiful soul. That's a beautiful sight to see. And when people frown upon that or say that you shouldn't be who you are, those are just people who do not understand that this world is bigger than what they think. And for you to think that only heterosexual people are to live in this huge world that God created, you are sadly mistaken. We have a creative God. He is God the creator. He makes everything. And if God can create himself and his son and the Holy Ghost and everything else, what makes you think that he cannot create same sex attracted people? He did. So for me, learning has been the best way to go for me, instead of relying on what other people say, because relying on what other people have said has not helped me at all. As a matter of fact, it hurt me more than helped me. And one of the ways I learned was by watching lesbian adult films. They taught me a lot. I was able to escape from the day to day life of being around people who always are rejecting and condemning gay people. And it was enjoyable to able to witness women who were free to be themselves sexually. And there was not an issue for me to watch lesbian adult films, because it was a teaching mechanism. It was absolutely a teaching mechanism for me. And I think that two women being involved together sexually is very beautiful. And I believe that women who love women are going to want to be with their partner, their same sex partner, intimately. And you can learn on your own. As a matter of fact, being physically involved with a woman in person is the best way for you to learn. But there's people who read books about sex all the time. There's different ways to learn about sex. So when people judge me and condemn me and ridicule me for watching lesbian adult films, I used to do this very early in life. I was about 19 years old. And every once in a while, I do stay abreast of what's going on, because as a life coach, I stay I stay alert. I pay attention to what's happening and what's going on, and I'm aware of different concerns and topics and situations and scenarios that people are in. We're real people. We're human, and as a life coach, I don't believe in sugarcoating anything or denying anything. I'm very real with topics, and I think that the best way for you to be yourself is to be honest with yourself and to tell the truth. You have to listen to yourself first. So you might as well tell yourself the truth before anybody else will believe you. But I will say that I don't rely or depend on lesbian adult films to live my life. It was just it was a learning mechanism. It was an opportunity for me to just basically see that there's other women who are like me, who are same sex attracted, and it was pretty much confirmation about lesbian sexuality. So that's all I wanted to share with you. If you want to learn more about me, or if you would like to meet with me in a one-on-one life coaching session, please contact me. My website is www.GiselleAWallace.com, and you can schedule a one-on-one life coaching session. And all of my contact information is here on YouTube in the description box. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this message and you would like more content such as this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. You have a beautiful day.